The NBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, presented by WinBet. WinBet is now live in Arizona, Colorado, Indiana, Louisiana, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Tennessee, and Virginia. From boosted same game parlays to live in-game odds, WinBet has what you need to win. Sign up today. Bet $100, get $100 at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/winbet. At sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WINNBET. State restrictions apply. Yes, sir. We are back for another edition of the NBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. No me, no the voice, no the guys. Me, really real villain, Terrell Furman Jr. at your service. And I got my guy Delonte Smith with me. Delonte, what's going on?
What's up, man? Not bad day yesterday. Well, I guess missed on pretty much all the props, but hit on every side but the Mavericks. So I guess positive day.
Yeah, that's what you get for taking the Mavericks as a home favorite
you know
of
it. Yeah,
7 points.
Yeah. Scott and Moonoff let me have it. Yeah, it's all good. But profitable day overall. Just mad didn't get home with a lot of the props, but looking forward to the slate today. Pretty good slate.
Well, you know who did get home yesterday? It was Bam Adebayo, and
Yeah,
Bam
man.
Adebayo got home because I again still refuse to bet Bam Adebayo. So if you're riding this Bam train, I implore you to keep doing it because I'm not going to bet him. Like there's a number of things in sports betting. One of them is strength, determination, and you have to have the strength and determination not to follow a player after you've blacklisted that player and that person starts going off, because it's so clear and evident that when you do bet on that person, he's going to act like he doesn't know what a basketball looks like again. So I implore everybody to continue to bet Bam Adebayo because I will not, which means he's only going to go off.
Yep.
Let's see here.
He was letting people know about it in the post game about he should be an all-star, which he probably should.
He probably won't.
But it just depends. It just depends. I mean, it's the East isn't like loaded with front court guys. So
I mean, you have Joel, so you're not getting in there.
No, I mean he won't be a starter or anything. He won't be.
Yeah, you're not getting in there over Joel. And then how many times do we really see like centers come off the bench? Like you don't see them bring too many. I think Rudy Gobert. So I guess if Rudy Gobert is your argument,
that 1 year in Orlando.
Yeah, so I guess if Rudy Gobert is your, but I mean, I would put Vucevic in over Bam, just because of what Vucevic has been doing over the past month and change or whatever. So I don't know. All right, here. Let's see. What are we talking about? What happened last night? Before we get into what else happened last night? We have the Wizards. Yeah, the Wizards won outright as a +7 dog. I have no idea what you were doing on that one. Like that, I locked that bet in as soon as it opened. I saw it opened at 7. Yeah. Let's see. Lakers still suck against the Clippers. That's self-evident.
That's evident. Yep. Pacers came back, not routed, but they came back and beat the Bulls.
Yeah, the Pacers are going to make you sweat for it. The Pacers are a team where you just bet the other team first quarter and then bet the money line and just sit and wait.
Yeah, they are horrible in the first quarter. Well, Miami and Boston was intriguing. I mean, we found out that Jimmy Butler was out like a few hours before tip-off, so that's always fun.
I didn't bet Boston, but when the line opened and I saw Boston, I think it was like +4 when I saw it. I was like, oh, why am I not betting Boston in this spot? Then I remembered it was Boston, so I didn't do it. But they still ended up covering that line. And I actually picked them on Tally's site, and they covered the line. So they should have got a win outright on that one, honestly. But
yeah, they were. They let Miami back into it. Nobody but Bam had it last night. I don't think Hero didn't have it last night. Who else didn't? He only had.
It's very simple. Don't lay points with Boston. Not Boston. Don't lay points with Miami. Just don't lay points with Miami.
I think they covered the open, though. I think the open was 2.5.
But it closed. It closed at 4.
Yeah.
Because I got it at 4. It closed at 4. Don't bet Miami. All right. That's was there anything big? He might have a huge performance that I'm not talking about.
Joker had another casual triple-double on his first game back from.
I don't know. I mean, I don't be intrigued by Joker triple doubles just because his style of play. Like his style of play, he's a big point center. Like of course, he's going to get a bunch of triple doubles. I don't know.
He's a center version of Luka.
Yeah, I don't know. All
Yeah,
right.
and your Knicks won, man. Big win for the Knicks against the
Yeah, I
Cavs.
think that's the only one. That's the only game I actually missed on was the Knicks. I didn't think the Knicks were going to win. They suck against the Cavs.
Yeah, I didn't. I think we all. I think myself, Boonoff, and Scott were on Cleveland and were on the team total, but didn't get there. They barely scraped 100. Both of them.
Let's see. Anybody talking about anything? Speaking of Vucevic, 5 assists. Yeah, Vucevic. Hey, Vucevic be getting assists, man. Y'all don't. He's a sneaky triple double guy. Like he'll just walk into a double double. Now all you got to worry about is assists. Yeah, I actually had a ticket going. I had a ticket going last night. I had where's the ticket at? So because I don't want to say fake odds and then people try to cancel me and they be like, oh, he's lying about the ticket, even though the ticket didn't hit, but still, it was a fun sweat. What did I have? There it goes, a 2-pick parlay. It was 250-1. And it was Donovan Mitchell to get a double-double and Jason Tatum to get a triple-double. Both of them missed by 3 assists.
Dang, really?
I think one of them actually got to 8. So
Tatum,
I was sweating assisting.
Yeah, Tatum had 31, 14, and 7.
Yeah, I needed 3 assists the whole fourth quarter from both of them, and I didn't get it. I was pretty sick about that.
Wow, that's a real good.
Tatum triple double was such a good angle last night.
Yeah, especially with Jalen being out and both of those guards.
Oh man! All right, can you hear me? Is this thing working?
Yeah,
is my mic on? Everybody,
just a little delayed. Just a little delayed. That's all.
Okay, all right. Well, it doesn't matter because we're going straight into the slate, and we're going to talk about the Indiana Pacers on a back-to-back, going to play the Orlando Magic. -6 is the line. 234 is the total. Injury report for these two teams, and we have for the Indiana Pacers, Andrew Nembhard is TBD with the illness. Now, we're not going to really know because these guys played last night, but Nembhard is really the big person you're looking for. Not really too concerned because TJ McConnell came in and kind of walked into that role pretty easily. TJ McConnell might need to start over Nembhard going forward while Halliburton is out, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. And pretty clean for the Orlando Magic. Jonathan Isaac made his debut the other night against Boston, got the win, had, I think, like 10 points. That was a really big
he played well. Yeah, he played well.
All right. Man, you are getting Orlando laying 6 points at home. What are you doing?
Yeah, on the open, I think it was 4.5 on the open. I thought that was a good number for Orlando. At 6, kind of like not leaning towards not playing it. I think that like the angle that we were talking about earlier, Indiana being the worst first quarter team in the NBA, and Orlando being a little bit more rested, so to speak. I think some of the advantages lean towards their way. 6 is just a little too high for a feisty Orlando team. They haven't been playing well without Tyrese Halliburton, but last night they scrapped and clawed. And I don't think Orlando is one of those teams that does well with a lot of physicality. So at 6, I'm kind of leaning towards staying off it. But if I had to play it, I'd play Orlando. I definitely will be playing Orlando in the first quarter, though, for sure.
Yeah, I can't get off you that Orlando first quarter play. I have to go look and see what Orlando does in the first quarter. I'm not too familiar on that. But what I do know is that I'm not laying points with Orlando, so I can tell you that much. I don't know why you even considered the 4.5. I'm not laying anything with Orlando. Orlando's 1-5 against the spread as a favorite this season. I'm not touching that at all. Yeah. And then we can talk about the Pacers, and yeah, the Pacers are on a back-to-back. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Sure. But you sit here and you look at the numbers a little bit better, and on back-to-backs this season, the Pacers are actually, where did they go? 5-4 against the spread.
Yep,
they are 5-4 against the spread. They're 6-3 straight up on a back-to-back this season. So I know the Pacers are a little banged up. That's probably why that this line is a little bit inflated. But when you really look at their roster and really look at one, they're a bunch of young guys. I'm not concerned about the no rest. They're a bunch of young guys. They should be able to run. They can handle a back to back. But it's more of the fact that Tyrese Halliburton, okay, I lose confidence in the ending games without Tyrese Halliburton because Tyrese Halliburton is a clutch player. He knows how to make the best play, get it to the right guy, be able to go get a bucket himself. So I lose confidence in them in the end of the game. But in terms of Nembhard, Halliburton, TJ McConnell, like Rick Carlisle's offense is predicated on the point guard position, and it doesn't matter as long as he has a suitable point guard. It doesn't have to be somebody all world, doesn't have to be an all star like or a perennial all star like Tyrese Halliburton. It's just got to be somebody that can handle the ball, make the right read, and TJ McConnell can do that. So I don't think that they're going to slow down too much offensively, except in clutch time situations. So I'm taking the 6 points. So many points for this Pistons team, not Pistons team, but for this Pacers team, who is 20-17 against the spread as an underdog this season. They sport one of the best ATS records overall, 27-22. I like the Pacers in this spot as a road dog, able to get it done.
Yeah, I wouldn't lay
All right. Total sitting at 234.
Yeah, I like the over. Excuse me. I like the over. With both teams coming in, not really the best at defending the rim. So I think that Paolo, Franz, and some of those guys will be able to get to the rim on Indiana, and vice versa. Both teams are bottom 5 in rim percentage defense. So, I mean, Indiana doesn't have a lot of the slashers that that Orlando has with some of that size that they have. But I think they'll still be able to get to the rim and maybe get to the free throw line to help out some of those points. So I like that over in the game.
I'm not really particular on this one. I got some things that can go both ways. Orlando against the Eastern Conference is actually 9-16, 9-16-2 to the over, so 16-9-2 to the under. And Indiana 14-14, 6-3 off of back-to-back to the over. So Indiana's able to get it done there. Both of these teams really don't play defense, but I could see a night where both of these teams have like a shooting slump as well. I'm not really too particular on the total here. 234 is a little bit high, and Indiana's a slow starting team, so I may just take an under because of that, but I'm not betting this.
Yeah, I mean, 3 of the last 5 have went under for Indiana, and 3 of the last 5 have went over for Orlando. So it just kind of depends on who dictates the pace. And we all know Indiana's going to get off to a slow start. That's evident in the numbers. They're getting outscored by almost 5 points per game, or 5 points per first quarter. So it just depends on how much they get down in the first quarter if this goes over. But I like the over, though. I think both teams will be able to score.
All right. Let's see here. Any player props you like for this game?
Just one. Markelle Fultz over 5.5 assists. He's went over 6 of the last 9, and out of those 3 games that he missed, he had 5 in 2 of the 3 games. So I like that a lot. That's probably the only one that I like. With some of those guys getting back in the lineup, Jonathan Isaac getting his feet wet a little bit, I think that Markelle Fultz will be able to distribute the ball a little bit more. They're putting the ball in his hands a lot more, having Franz play kind of off-ball guard. So I like that angle of Markelle Fultz over 5.5 assists. That's the only one I got.
All right. I'm going back to what I played last night. And I played Duarte's over 3s last night. It was juiced. It was at 1.5 and minus 150. I don't know if they knew he was starting last night or not. I kind of assumed Duarte was starting. I think people figured, they might put Ben Mathurin up there. They really only put him up there in case of need, but they really like him coming off the bench and adding a spark with that second unit. So I played Duarte over 1.5 last night. It cashed in the first quarter, I think. No, he got 2 early fouls and then it cashed. But without them 2 early fouls, I could see him getting into a little bit better of a rhythm. So I'm sure he may be at that 1.5 again tonight. If not, it's at 2.5 at plus money probably. I like that. I took it all the way up to 4 last night, and it was like 7-1 for 4 threes. And I just think that that's such an easy spot for him with TJ McConnell running the offense and how this offense goes of them just rotating over and finding an open shooter. So Hopefully Duarte is going to better recipient of those threes, but I'll be on Duarte's threes again tonight.
I might tell you on that. I like Duarte.
All right. Next game on the slate, we have the Brooklyn Nets going to play the Philadelphia 76ers in Philadelphia. Yet another return for Ben Simmons. Philadelphia is laying 5. Open up at 6.5. Now it's 5. 225.5 is the total. Open up at 226.5. Injury report for these two teams. And I see here for you are not going to see Kevin Durant, of course. You also have a questionable tag on Joel Embiid, not on the injury report for James Harden, and Furkan Korkmaz is out. Laying 5 at home with Philadelphia. What are you doing there?
Yeah, I'm probably gonna stay away. I kind of want to bet on both teams. I know the Nets had started off, they're struggling without KD.
Having issues.
You can't hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, good. Yeah, so I know that Brooklyn started off struggling without KD, but I think as they went forward, they won and covered 2 straight. So I think they're finding a way without him just a little bit. Obviously, they won't get to their full potential until KD gets back. So they're kind of a bet on team that I wanted to bet on. I think they're a little bit more undervalued going forward. Kyrie missed a game in there as well. So some of the numbers may be a bit inflated. Philly is rolling right now, 5-game winning streak. They're 16-8 at ATS at home. They do play very well against the higher ups as far as like team stature. I just don't know if I could lay it because I think Kyrie has a big game. Because they don't defend the rim well, so Kyrie's gonna be slicing and dicing, get to the rim. And Embiid not being 100% does scare me a little bit if you like Philly, but inevitably I'll probably just be staying away. I mean, both teams do a lot of things that I like. They're one of 3 teams who are top 10 in offensive and defensive rating. The other team being Boston. Ironically, they don't rebound the ball as well as I like Philadelphia. That is. But they don't have to worry about that with Brooklyn because Brooklyn doesn't rebound the ball as well. I can make cases for both teams, so I'll just stay away. But if I had to play it, I would just take the points with Brooklyn.
Yeah, I'm on Brooklyn. Philadelphia is coming off a road trip. You already know we like the fade teams coming off a long road trip that first game home. But not only did they come off a long road trip, they came off a long West Coast road trip.
Yep.
And not only was it a long West Coast road trip, they swept the board. They went out west and swept the board. They went 5-0. I think it was 5-0.
Yeah,
went 5-0 in that. Yeah, 5-0 in that road trip. Like I feel like there's a tad bit of letdown here, but we've seen this Philadelphia team also go out there without Joel Embiid and beat Brooklyn before, even earlier this season. I'm pretty sure it was without Joel Embiid I think they didn't have Harden in that game either, and they were still able to go in there and get a win. I think they didn't have Harden because it was +8. They didn't have Harden or Embiid, and they were still able to go in there and get a win. I'm kind of leaning on Kyrie, and I think this is a different Brooklyn Nets team than the one that played that Philadelphia team in terms of defense and what they add defensively now. And you got Kyrie, Jacques Vaughn's got Kyrie playing defense. I think that you could see a little bit better shooting from the outside this game. I'm gonna ride with Brooklyn here, +5. I think Philly still gets the win. Honestly, I think Philly still gets the win, but I think Brooklyn keeps this one close.
Yeah. So is Embiid? Is he questionable or is he?
He's questionable, but okay. I think it's more leaning that he's not gonna play. Even if Joel Embiid doesn't play, I just think how Philly is constructed, they'll be able to handle this Brooklyn team. It's just gonna go. It's going to be insane if he does play. Like Embiid should be in line for a really, really good game.
Yeah,
I think
so.
Play. But if he doesn't, I think how Philadelphia is constructed, especially we'll see what they do with Maxey if Embiid doesn't play. I think they should still keep Maxey coming off the bench and just rotate a Paul Reed over or Montrezl Harrell or somebody else.
Yeah, I play Paul.
That is somebody that I do like it. That's somebody I do like in this game, Paul Reed. If Paul Reed gets some burn, he'll probably be sitting there at they normally have his rebounds at 5.5. very conservative number for him coming off the bench. And I think he can be in double territory every single time that he plays and Joel Embiid doesn't play. So Paul Reed is the guy I'm looking for today.
Yeah, if Embiid does play, he should clean up on the glass. Brooklyn 29th in offensive rebounding percentage, so he should own the glass. They're also 27th in defensive rebounding percentage. So Embiid should be in line, like you said, for a big game if he does play and is actually healthy enough to contribute. But yeah, I'm leaning towards Brooklyn. Like, I didn't play it quite yet, but like you said, with their defense, they are top 10 in defensive efficiency. So they've been playing a lot better defense. And I like some of the things that I've seen from them after that little, I guess, hiccup that they had trying to adjust without Kyrie. So yeah, I would lean to the Brooklyn side. I hadn't played it yet, but I'll likely join you on that Brooklyn side.
Yeah, I also like Tobias Harris rebounds if Joel Embiid doesn't play. Even if Joel Embiid does play, I kind of like Tobias Harris rebounds just because of the fact that Joel Embiid isn't really looking to rebound basketball anymore. Like he's more concerned about scoring. If you're
Trying to get
getting
that scoring
any
time.
type of if you're getting any type of rebounding from him, it's probably on defensive. And Tobias Harris doesn't do much already, so he definitely likes to try to add his contribution rebound to basketball when he can. Total sitting at 225.5. And where are you going?
Yeah, I would go under. I mean, we talked about Brooklyn's defense. Philly's defense has been just as good at fourth in defensive efficiency. Although they do struggle defending the rim, I think that they'll be able to withstand some of those flurries of threes that Brooklyn is going to take. Um, eight of the last 10 have went over, but those totals have been in the mid 30s, and the mid 230s, and the teams that they played have been more fast paced. So they played the Lakers, Portland, Sacramento, Utah, who all get up and down the court with the offenses that they like to run. Brooklyn's more of a slower paced team. They're bottom they're mid level in pace, 20th in pace, and Philly is 25th in pace. So I like the pace of the game. I think it's going to be limited positions. So I like the under.
Yeah,
7 of the last 10 for Brooklyn went under also. But
yeah.
I think it's a little bit inflated just because Philly has been playing to the over as of late. But like I said, some of the teams that they've been playing has caused them to get out and run when they're not accustomed to doing so.
Brooklyn 9-19 to the over in Eastern Conference games. So I think that's going in your favor. Yeah, I'll slightly to the under, but I don't know. I'm concerned, especially if Embiid plays. I love the under, but
Yeah.
I'll be concerned if Embiid doesn't play because I think they get out and run a lot more. All right. Let's see here. Are we still on PJ Tucker's under 3.5 rebounds?
You got to be on PJ Tucker under everything.
Yeah, I was never a person that bet his under 3.5 rebounds. I understand the logic behind it though. Maybe not tonight, just because Brooklyn sucks rebounding basketball. He could stumble into 4. Like
Yeah,
if he comes out that first quarter with 2 rebounds, you're gonna be like, oh, ugh, like you're gonna be concerned. Maybe not against Brooklyn. Maybe against somebody else a little bit better at rebounding, but not against Brooklyn. All right. Again, that's not a prop that I'd be looking at, so I can't get you too much on that. You gotta ask the rest of the panel.
Yeah, man. I mean, I wouldn't. I don't hate it, but like you said, just it is a cause of concern with how Brooklyn doesn't rebound the basketball. So he could long rebounds. Brooklyn's gonna take a lot of threes, long rebounds. He could just, like you said, stumble and fall into 3 or 4 rebounds. So.
All right, next game on the slate, we have the Atlanta Hawks going to play the Oklahoma City Thunder. Hawks are laying 1.5 on the road. 238 is the total. Injury report for these two teams, and I have here for the Atlanta Hawks, when I find them, DeAndre Hunter is questionable. Onyeka Okongwu is questionable. And for OKC, you have clean injury report. All the people that have been injured are injured. Expect to see Shy. I just realized that it was Shy. I didn't know it was Shy. Shy Gilgeous-Alexander, Lou Dort, Josh Giddey, Jalen Williams, and Jalen Williams in the lineup. All right. You are laying 1.5 on the road with Atlanta.
Listen, man, I know this is an OKC podcast. We all love OKC. I'm assuming you do too.
I mean, I feel like everybody should love
Yeah,
OKC.
yeah,
They've
they
been the
should.
best team against the spread for the
Right.
past 2 years.
Right, yeah. I mean, they're 8-1-1 last 10, 15-8 ATS at home. They play with extreme energy. They love playing with one another. You can just tell by how they interact with one another on the court.
I feel like it's a butt coming in here.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah, but I like Atlanta. Atlanta had so they're basically like they're a team that plays. However, if they playing fast, when they're playing fast, they're good. So when they're running and gunning and scoring, they're 3-0 in their last 5, and they've covered all 3. So they've scored 120 in the last 3 games. But when they get the pace slowed down under 120, then they lose. So it's kind of like you got to kind of figure out how they're going to play, which is hard to do with the team that has Trae Young, and he just wants to pound the ball and not, get everybody else involved. I was hoping to get Atlanta as a dog, so I'm not gonna play it, but because I mean I don't want to lay points with Atlanta on the road against one of the better teams, covering the spread over the past 2 years, like you mentioned. So I'll pass on the side, but I am leaning towards Atlanta, to be honest with you. I'm not playing it though because I just love OKC too much.
I mean, all right. I'm not playing Atlanta on the road, so you can have fun with that. I'm not playing Atlanta on the road.
I'm not playing them, but I thought about it though.
Atlanta 9-17 as a favorite, 10-15 at home. This Atlanta team's not it's just really tailored 2 tapes here because they have both of the same record. Atlanta's not a good team. OKC is a good team. Like at this point, we can sit here and say OKC is a good team. They find at this point they're finding ways to win games. They're finding ways to go out there and be competitive. And now you sit here and look at an OKC rebuild, and they started the year without their top draft pick in the offseason. And there's where are you at in this freaking conference? They are, what's that, 10th?
Yeah, should be 9th or 10th.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, 11th in the conference, staring at the Warriors right above them with the same record. Timberwolves, Jazz, all that. They're actually fighting for a play-in spot. So huge difference in what OKC is doing last year, where they were just covering spreads, to this year, and they're actually winning games, which is a reason why I'm on OKC in this spot. I think they go out here and get a win. I don't think that Atlanta has the rim protection that's needed to be able to stop everybody at OKC that could come thrashing at you at the rim, whether it's a Lou Dort, whether it's Shea, whether it's Josh Giddey, whether it's Jalen Williams, Jalen, Jalen, the one that's in Rookie of the Year conversation that people didn't talk about and aren't talking about. Like, it's a whole bunch of people that can come at you towards the rim, and I don't think that Atlanta has all the options. And we'll see if Atlanta's able to get to the basket. I think they'll have a decent shot. I think could be a high-scoring game. It's definitely a non-conference game, non-conference overs. So you're looking at a high total of 238, but it might not be enough. Like, I think that this still can go over that total. But I'm taking OKC here. I think OKC. I'm taking the person who's playing the best basketball in 2 teams that are oddly similar, however, going 2 different directions. Atlanta trending towards the bottom, OKC trending towards the top. Now, Atlanta's interesting because they are -1.5 after dropping their last 2 games. So that is an interesting trend and slide for them. But I'm still rocking with a home dog at OKC in this one.
Yeah, I was hoping to get Atlanta as a dog, but like you were saying with the total, both teams are top 10 in pace. So that I think that pace favors Atlanta because they're just better whenever they're in the full court and just running and not thinking of playing. Is Capella questionable or is he like doubtful?
Nah, Capella's playing.
Okay, yeah. So I think Capella can control the paint on the rebound. So I like his rebound prop. I know we're gonna get into that, but I like the rebound prop. OKC struggles with rebounding. He should dominate on the glass. They don't have. They go smaller. They play both Jalen's, and then they get Dort, SGA, and Giddey. So Capella should clean up on the boards. Now the question is, can he stay on the court with those guys? I think Onyeka is better suited to guard some of those guys on the perimeter than Capella is. But I still like his rebounds. I think he would be able to get there pretty easily.
All right. Let's see here. Capella did start last game because I can't remember if Okongwu's he was questionable. I can't remember if he played or not, but I know
Yeah.
Capella did start last game because he had like he had 10 rebounds in like the first half, and then
Yeah, he played.
like
He
4
rebounded
or
the ball.
5
Yeah,
the
extremely
rest of
well.
the game. So, all right, next game on the slate. Oh yeah, I'm on SGA's points.
Yeah, I'm on DeJounte Murray points over 20.5. Went over 5 of the last 6.
Yeah, and he had that last one. I think he had just 20, and it was like one basket that
Yeah, that's
didn't
what
count.
that's what it was. He pushed in the other,
Yeah,
but like
so
he's been playing more assertive. He's been playing more
ooh.
assertive on the defensive end. So it's gonna be interesting to see how much he guards SGA tonight because he was picking up Luka full court. I don't know if you remember that game, maybe like a week ago. Like he was playing Luka really, really tough, like 94 feet. I haven't seen anybody guard Luka like that. Not that it was, as successful, but it's just interesting that he decided to do that.
Well, I know who did guard Luka like that and did pretty well on him. One, Andrew Wiggins, who isn't getting enough credit for what he's able to do.
Yeah, but
all right,
when you were in the chat,
let
he
me
got
see
torched by
here.
Tatum and Al Horford in that game.
No, he didn't.
Yeah,
that is cap. No, he didn't. He did not. I'm literally
Horford,
watching the game.
You see, Al
he
Horford
did not
numbers?
get torched.
He was guarding Al Horford and Jason.
He
Tatum.
wasn't guarding Al Horford the whole game. He was guarding Jason Tatum, man. He had Jason Tatum scored on everybody but him. Y'all gonna stop trying to.
He had 30. He has 34.
Y'all gonna stop disrespecting.
Let me find a number.
Y'all gonna stop disrespecting freaking my man's Andrew Wiggins. No, he actually, because what was it? It was like one of the last possessions of the game. He was guarding Tatum, and Tatum was breaking everything. Absolutely not. Wiggins disrespect stops.
Oh man!
All right. Next game on the slate, we have the Denver Nuggets versus the Milwaukee Bucks. Bucks are laying 8. 231 is the total injury report here for these two teams, and I have for the Nuggets. They played last night, so I really can't tell you too much actually. But be on the lookout for Michael Porter Jr. and Bones Highland. And for the Milwaukee Bucks, looking at Bobby Portis, who is out. Serge Ibaka's not even with the team. Marjan Beauchamp is probable. And there you go.
What's up with Serge? What's wrong with him?
Remember, he hasn't played basketball for them like forever. Like he's one of those guys that's just collecting a second check, and he's a veteran presence. Like he's not. Don't I don't even know why I said his name. Don't expect him to play basketball.
No, I know. It's just like I don't know what's going on with
he's the Iggy and the Udonis Haslem of that team. That's all it is.
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right. Laying 8 with Milwaukee at home.
I like the Bucks, but I mean 8 is a lot of points. That's a lot of points to be laying. I know some of the matchup wise it favors Milwaukee because Denver can't play defense, they can't defend the paint, and Giannis should dominate in the paint. But 8 is a lot of points for an elite offensive team like Denver. They're first in offensive efficiency, and they travel with that offense. They're second in road offensive efficiency. So their offense is going to travel. Now, Milwaukee does play defense, fourth in defensive rating. I just don't know if I don't know. 8 is a lot to cover. Portis is a key off the bench, so that second unit is going to lose some aggression and intensity. But I mean, I'm leaning with Milwaukee. I haven't played it. I just think 8 is a little bit too much. I was thinking that maybe Joker would be out or Murray would be out. I don't know if that's forecasting. But I think 8 is a little too big. I'll be staying away, but I'll lean to Milwaukee.
Yeah, I don't even think I want to stay away. I think Milwaukee's going to bury Denver in this spot. Okay. This just seems like a spot where they can't set the number high enough, and it's actually going to go out there and be a double-digit win. And it's just Denver coming off the back-to-back. And they are a better back-to-back team. I think I think they actually have a pretty good record on.
No, 3-3 on back-to-backs. That's what I got.
Straight up.
No, that's against the spread. 3-3.
3-3. Okay, then maybe it was somebody else I was looking at. I don't know. Straight up, we're looking at no rest. Denver is 4-2. So it's decent, but I just think it's too much for them. And even with Bobby Portis being out, I think that the second unit can go as far as Chris Middleton takes them. And he had a pretty decent game. You know, yeah, we had 8 points in 15 minutes, but he was 3 for 7 from the field. So not as inefficient as I thought he was going to be. And, you know, he just took his time, worked into it, found his shot, put a couple shots up, saw a couple go through the rim, built some more confidence about him and his body and how that's treating him. And so now I think that, especially if you're getting Chris Middleton coming off the bench again in this game, it's an automatic matchup nightmare for anybody in that second unit in Denver. There's nobody in the second unit in Denver that can even hope to cover Chris Middleton. So I think that if Chris Middleton's coming off the bench and he's playing a lot with that second unit, that he could be in line for a really, really good game today. Just because I mean, I can't think of what Bruce Brown, but Bruce Brown is probably playing with the starters. Like if you're getting
Middleton on a minutes restriction.
I don't know if minutes restriction is the word. I don't think he's on a minutes restriction, but I do think they're being like, you know, they're bringing him off the bench.
Okay,
Came off the bench last game.
Gotcha.
And he only had 15 minutes in that first game. So I think that it'll gradually increase, but
yeah, okay, I got you.
And he could be anywhere between 15 and 20 minutes, but I still think that's enough for him to get a good, you know, get a few shots up, look pretty decent in the time being. Just give me the Bucks. I think the Bucks are going to get this done. I think this is a rout by Denver. I truly don't think Denver possibly even cares about this game too much. You're in Milwaukee. You're playing a non-conference opponent. And I'll get to that over in a second, but you're playing a non-conference opponent. And, I mean, you're still sporting the best record in the West. Like, you're on the road, playing a back-to-back. There's so many reasons why Denver just would not get up for this spot. I think the only thing that would make Denver get up for this game is the fact that you're getting Jokic versus Giannis, and everybody's playing that matchup. Everybody's playing some combination of those two matchups. And I just think that this game is going to disappoint, to be honest. I wish it was on national TV. I'd feel a lot better about this game disappointing if it was on national TV.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, it's just 8 is a lot of points, man. I know that Milwaukee is a wagon at home, and they do some things well that combats with how Denver runs their offense. I wanted it to be like 4.5, 5. I wanted it to be that so I can just take that. But yeah, I'm with you on that. I think one thing that I do like better, I know you're gonna get into the total, is the Bucks team total over. They've scored 130 plus in 3 of the last 5 games. They struggled against elite defenses like Cleveland, Miami. They struggled to score, but whenever they play against lower level competition, they pour it on. So I think they'll pour it on. Denver's a bad defensive team. I think they do defend the 3 well. 7th in 3-point percentage defense is Denver, but I think that Milwaukee will beat them up inside, and they'll just, like you said, they'll just pour it on, and maybe they might rout them. I just don't have enough confidence to bet against Joker plus 8 right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I have all the confidence in the world to bet against them. I have all the confidence in the world. I like Milwaukee. I'm locking up Milwaukee -8.
7-3 as a dog, man. Denver 7-3 as a dog.
Yeah, that doesn't matter. They didn't play Milwaukee. All right. Let's see here. Yeah, time for the total. 231. I bet this last night at 225.5, and it skyrocketed overnight, and for a very good reason, which is why I caught the best number of it. And the fact that this is a non-conference game, so non-conference over trend, that's check. Have that right. Sit here and look at what the two teams do in the non-conference. You have Denver sporting the 3rd best record, 69%, 9-4 check. You have Milwaukee coming down there, 62.5% to the over, 10-6 check. So you have that system there. You have Denver, who just doesn't profile as a good defensive team, playing against Milwaukee. Milwaukee, I can see going out, getting a big lead in this game, playing with their food, not really caring what Denver is doing. Denver is a good offensive team, as you spoke earlier, talked about their home and road splits being so similar just because they're good offensively. I think that they're going to find the holes in the splits in Milwaukee's defense to continue to put up points on their side. So now you're looking at about a 6-point difference. But honestly, I think that the 225 they put out was just a bad number. Like, they should never have put the number out that low. So now that it's at 231, I'm not even really scared of that number as well. Like, I think I need some more juice for me to even think about. I wouldn't even consider an under in this game. So honestly, 231, I don't feel bad about it at there. I just know I got the better number at 225.5 because I played it as soon as it dropped last night. But 231, I still really like it. I'm probably going to get back down on a 231 and sweat that with you guys. So 231 over for the Bucks Nuggets. That's one of my favorite plays of the day. I'm going to throw a lock on that as well.
Yeah, one of my favorite plays is the team total over 119.5 for Milwaukee. I do I like your number better than the current number, obviously. But I just think like if it's a blowout, like how much does Denver like score? Like that's my only issue. They have been playing towards the under. So if Milwaukee scores like 133, like does Denver have enough to get you over that hump is basically my main concern. So that's why I would rather go with the Milwaukee team total versus the full game total. But I'll be rooting for you, of course.
All right. Any props for this game before we go?
Giannis should dominate the glass. I like him over 12.5 rebounds. If you want to play his, I guess, somewhat of a combined thing, I would look at his points and rebounds, 42.5. It should be a big night for him inside.
I want to play somebody on a supporting cast of Denver, but I don't know who's playing, so I can't really give you that right now.
So because they don't have to submit their injury report until later.
I mean, yeah, they don't have to, but it's a back-to-back with Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. You can just almost expect one, if not both of those guys to be out.
Yeah, MPJ definitely gonna be out.
Let's see here. I guess I would tell you, I don't know. Brook Lopez don't even be trying to rebound at this point. Like, I guess if this is ever a Brook Lopez double-double game, it should be it. Seeing some more minutes without Bobby Portis in the lineup, being that other big, getting some time off the court with Giannis and coming in with the second unit to help bolster their defense and give that second unit some size. So I guess it's a Brook Lopez double-double game. He really just doesn't ever really attempt to rebound. I think it was one matchup that who was it? It was somebody in this chat that me and him were sweating on Brook Lopez over 6 rebounds, and he had 1 in 3 quarters. So, I mean, have fun. Have fun. That's all I'll tell you. Next game on the slate, we have the Minnesota Timberwolves traveling to the Big Easy to play the New Orleans Pelicans. 2.5. Pelicans are laying 2.5. 230.5 is the total injury report, and this is going to be one everybody is looking forward to hearing because for the New Orleans Pelicans, well, starting with the Timberwolves, you have Rudy Gobert, who's questionable. Taurean Prince is out. And you know you're not seeing Cat or Jordan McLaughlin still. And for the Pelicans, you have Najee Marshall, Dyson Daniels of both TBD because they did play last night. You're not going to get a full injury report. However, Brandon Ingram is expected to make his return to the lineup tonight, more than likely on a minutes restriction, but you can expect him to see his first in-game action after 29 games. All right. You're laying 2 at home with the Pelicans. What are you doing here?
Yeah, one of my better plays that I'll lock up for sure. Pelicans laying a short number. Honestly, with short numbers, I think I probably brought this up a couple of times. With short numbers between 1 and 3, I usually just try to take the money line just to take out the bad beat scenario in it on a pointless 3-point heave or a pointless foul at the end of the game. So if you can find a cheap money line, I would play that. Versus playing the 2, but I think either way you're good. But this is just something that I prefer. I prefer just paying a little bit more to actually win the game than get a bad beat or be a prisoner of a bad beat. So I like New Orleans here. I mean, obviously Brandon Ingram is going to give him a shot in the arm. I mean, we're not sure how much he's going to play, but anything is better than nothing with some of the stuff that they've been dealing with. They have lost 5 straight, 2 and 3 ATS in that span. Off of back-to-backs, they are 2 and 4. So not great, but of course those numbers are, you take them with a grain of salt because their guys are not playing as much as they usually are. 13-10 ATS at home. They also have been struggling to score. Haven't scored 100 points in 3 of the last 5 games, and they haven't scored over 110 in any of those last 5 games. So I think that it's a good spot for New Orleans. Minnesota is pretty much like I don't know what they are. 6-4 ATS last 10 though, but still doesn't move me. I think a perfect matchup for New Orleans. I think Valanciunas dominates Gobert if he plays. He was in foul trouble last night, which messed up my points and rebounds prop, but they struggle to rebound. I mean, you got Rudy Gobert in Minnesota to rebound and block shots. So how are you bottom 3 in rebound percentage for both offense and defense? That doesn't make any sense to me. So they also turn the ball over a lot, 27th in offensive turnover percentage. And a team that turns people over is New Orleans. They like to get in your face, and they're going to turn you over and get out in transition. So give me the Pelicans, laying a short number, play the money line. I also play their team total over as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on the Pelicans too. I think that this is pretty. I mean, I know the Pelicans have their offensive issues, and we'll talk about that in a second. Yeah. And we'll see what Brandon Ingram contributes. I don't expect him to contribute much. I think that actually this is going to be pretty interesting with no Dyson Daniels in the lineup and how much they actually have Brandon Ingram ending up playing, because Dyson Daniels is one of their better defenders coming off the bench. And especially if Najee Marshall is going to go, that's really going to force them to try to play Brandon Ingram a little bit more than they intended to, just out of necessity. Mm-hmm. And so Minnesota's not good defensively last 5 games, giving up 119.2 points per game. They're giving up 40% from behind the arc. Look at New Orleans, pretty solid defensive team, giving up 111 per game. One of the best teams in the last 5 games defending the 3. You talked about the turnovers, you talked about the offensive struggles and all of that. So I'm on New Orleans still. It feels a little bit trappy. I feel like New Orleans probably should be laying a little bit more, but I understand with how bad they've been playing recently why they're not. But I do just think New Orleans is just overall better team. I think that Anthony Edwards is going to have some issues with Herb Jones in his phase. Herb Jones, Jose Alvarado is still going to give them some problems. And so maybe I'll be looking for I don't even think I would back D'Lo for referral in this one, but yeah, no, I'm still going New Orleans here. But that total sitting at 230.5. I'm under City. I'm on the under. I love the under in this spot between these.
That's full game total, you said?
Yeah, full game total sitting at 230.5.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Yeah, I love the under here. I know Minnesota's bad, but we talk about New Orleans and what they've been doing offensively recently, and they have had struggles now. They turned it on recently. Caught that, by the way. They did turn it on a little bit more in Orlando with that 110, but you bounce back from that Orlando game. You still only scored 96 against Miami, which is a good defense. I give you that, but you only scored 96 against Miami. Covered the 7.5 that they were giving you. So shout out, appreciate you for that. 98 against Denver. 98 against Denver is tough. And so I think they still have offensive woes. Like, I still think the offensive problems are there. I don't think that Minnesota's lack of defensive intensity is really, really going to mean too much in this game with just how New Orleans is handling the ball offensively. And I don't think it just gets better overnight inserting Brandon Ingram into the lineup. So I love the under for that game, under 230.5. It's actually come down 1 point already, and I see some money on the over. So a little bit of reverse line movement there. I think that's the play the under for the full game.
Yeah, I like the under as well. I think that New Orleans will turn it on more offensively against matchup wise what they have in Minnesota. So, like I said, I would rather play if anybody's gonna get to over like 110, 115, it'll be New Orleans. It won't be Minnesota. I think.
Well, I mean, I don't know how you can even say that because they haven't done it in the past 5 games. Like we sit here. That's the only reason.
Haven't. Yeah, they haven't. But I think that as far as from how they match up with Minnesota, I think that they'll be able to score some points against the defense, especially if Gobert is limited or even if he's out. This just makes a lot more sense for them to be able to get back on track and score 100 plus. Well, 110 plus, I guess, is the number. Let me see what the team total is.
I can't get there on a team total over 110 with New Orleans.
Let me make sure that it's that. I don't know. It might be lower than that.
Denver is it's 2.5 in the set. It's got to be like 115.
Yeah, it's 116, 116 and a half.
Yeah, no. So Denver, not the best defense, only scored 98. You have Orlando, who's been letting everybody and their mother score 120 on them. They only scored 110. Scroll back. Detroit lets you score anything you want. They just barely got to 116 in that game on the road. Uh, I mean, last time they scored that high number was back when they played the Wizards on the road, 130. That's the last time they got over 116. So, and that was the ninth. So yeah, I can't do it. I can't do it personally. I'd rather just take a full game under.
Yeah, I'm with you on the full game under. I'm with you on the full game under. I just think that New Orleans will play a little bit better offensively. So,
all right. Any props that you like for this game? For move on.
Yeah, I don't like much in this game.
I like Brandon Ingram's assist. I think Brandon Ingram. You're probably going to get a favorable number because he's probably not going to be playing a bunch of minutes if they even bold enough to drop his number or anything. But if you get an assist line from him, last few games without Zion Williamson, 7 assists, 9 assists, 2, 8, 4, 7, 6, 5, 9, 6, 6, 6, 8, 7, 8. Like the numbers just go on. And so I think you'll probably get a favorable line on that because they expect him not to play so many minutes. I'm still rocking with his assists. Really, all three: Zion, Brandon Ingram, CJ. If one person is out, you should be looking towards the other two assists, and whichever one is the lower of the number, probably taking that one. I think you have a good chance of cashing that more times than it doesn't.
Oh,
because all three of them, yeah.
Before we move on, somebody in the chat was bringing up or told us to look at Kyle Anderson for his assists. So he's been killing it. I told that person after we got off. I can't remember who it was. So if you're in the chat, I'm sorry, I don't remember who you were. But he put us on Kyle Anderson over assists. He's doing more point guard duties for Minnesota, especially whenever D'Lo's on the bench or when they need him to be more of a scorer rather than a facilitator. So take a look at Kyle Anderson assists. It's at 3.5.
3.5 minus 150. It's one of the more bet props in this game is Kyle. I think that's actually the highest bet prop. It is Kyle Anderson assist. So
so that's one.
Yeah, I think it's a good play.
Yep, me too.
I think it's a good play.
Yeah.
All right.
Like what?
Let's see. Next game on the slate, we have the Toronto Raptors going to play the Sacramento Kings. Kings are laying 3.5 at home. 238.5 is the total injury report for these two teams. And you have, let's see here that is not the right injury report there. So let's refresh that. All right. For the Toronto Raptors, you have whenever I find the game, OG Anunoby with that ankle injury, he is going to play tonight. Banton is questionable with the hip. And that's about it for there. And for the Kings, Metsu is questionable with the knee injury. That's about it. All right. Are you buying any stock into Toronto on the road, West Coast?
Nah, I like Sacramento. Have you watched a lot of Sacramento games at all?
Yeah. Man, I mean, normally they're the only game on TV at that time of night.
Yeah, their home crowd is like college atmosphere related. Like they got the chants going. I love watching them play. I think matchup wise, it's just a bad matchup defensively for Toronto. They're bottom 3 in effective 3-point percentage defense and effective field goal percentage defense, whereas the Kings are number 1 in like pretty much top 5 in pretty much all offensive shooting metrics. I think that they're going to be too much offensively. Now, Toronto has been playing a little bit better defensively, but I think Sacramento is going to come out and play. Of course, they're not going to make 10 threes in the first quarter like they did against Memphis, but I do think they control the tempo. I think they're able to get out and get Sabonis going as well. So I like Sacramento here laying a short number. I wouldn't be surprised if they blow Toronto out, honestly.
I think this is a trap spot for Sacramento here.
You think so?
Yeah, I think this is a trap spot for Sacramento. I think they They went into Toronto, got a win as
Mhm.
a 5-point dog earlier this season, 1-1. I think, but that game, 124, 123, like that's not what the Raptors do. Like that's not how the Raptors play their style of ball. That's not their defense. They're never trying to get into a track meet like that. But I'm really just more on the fact that I think that Toronto is going to come out here and have a better defensive effort than they did. Toronto's won the last two meetings in Sacramento. One of those meetings was actually a 144, 123, but and that was a what's that 20? Yeah, about a year ago now. But I think this is more. I see a better defensive effort here from Toronto. They've got what? How many days rest are they coming off of? Because I feel like I haven't seen them in a little while. Yeah, so I haven't seen
They
them
played the
since
Knicks
Sunday.
last,
So
right?
they
Not the Knicks.
yeah they played the Knicks on
Okay.
Sunday
Yeah. Okay. Thought
in
so.
Toronto. So they've had what's that 1, 2, 3 days rest, 2, 3 days rest in that time. And last game for Sacramento was that blowout against the Grizzlies on Monday. So I'm getting a slightly more rested team. I know they're traveling. I know Toronto's really bad on the road, but
9-12
between
ATS.
non-conference game, two teams that really don't play each other that often, and I think that Toronto can throw some defensive looks that will really confuse Sacramento on what they're doing a little bit. So yeah, I think I'll actually go Toronto here and I'll lay the points. Give me the 3.5. I think Toronto is able to cover this and make this at very least another short game.
Yeah, so I'm assuming you like the under if
And
you like Toronto.
this is also not my room. Like this is not my room. So all right. What'd you say?
You like the under? If you, I'm assuming if you like the under, if you like Toronto, thinking that they'll slow
Well,
down
I'm not
second.
playing. I mean, still a non-conference game, so I'm not going to play the under. But I do. Maybe I would play a Sacramento team total under because I think that Toronto probably still has a chance to win this game. And it's just looking at how the bet splits are. You have 74% of the money on Sacramento. So the public is 74% of the tickets on Sacramento. So the public is going heavy on Sacramento, but 56% of the money is on Toronto. So you got that tickets versus handle disparity right there, line coming down. And that line coming down is a favorable system towards Toronto. So yeah, I think that is much to like about Toronto. I probably am not touching the total on this one just because, again, I think that Toronto can actually shut down what Sacramento does offensively with their length, their athleticism, their ability to move, and just the defensive style of Nick Nurse. I think that is going to give Sacramento some issues.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I don't. I'm not going to be on the total, but I would lean to the over because I like Sacramento, and if Sacramento can dictate the pace, they're going to score a lot of points. With some of those guys shooting the three.
All right. Let's see here. We have any player props that you like for this one?
Sabonis over 40.5 points, rebounds, and assists. He's went over 7 of the last 10. He's had a triple double in 3 of the last 5 games. He put up a 20-20 game in the last game they played. Toronto. Toronto really struggles rebounding the ball. So I think maybe not a 21-20 game, but I can see like a 25-14 game for him. I also like Keegan Murray over 2.5 threes made. With how Toronto struggles to defend the three, I think he'll get some wide open corner looks and also dribbling transition threes. I think he'll make a couple of those. So I look for Keegan Murray to have 3 or 4 threes on the night. He's went over 7 in the last 9. So those are two that I really like in this game.
Yeah, I'm on Pascal Siakam. Sacramento is one of the worst defending teams inside the paint. I don't think they'll have anything to slow down Pascal Siakam at all. And yeah, that's about it for me. I think it's a pretty big Pascal Siakam game this game. All right. Next game on the slate, we have the Memphis Grizzlies traveling to Golden State to play the Golden State Warriors. Warriors are laying 3.5 at home. 245.5 is the total, highest total by far on the board today of an entire slate of high totals. For the Grizzlies, we have John Morant not on injury report, expect him to play. John Conchar is out with that concussion. Steven Adams is not playing. He's actually on IR with the knee injury right now. And you have pretty clean injury report for the Warriors. No Andre Iguodala. You probable tag on James Wiseman as well. So you may see James Wiseman in this game. So it looks like we got the game. We're finally getting the game that everybody wanted to see on Christmas. You're getting a full strength Memphis squad versus a full strength Golden State squad in Golden State. What are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, I know it's like the big game. I don't have anything. I can make cases for both sides. I mean, the Grizzlies coming off that rough West Coast trip where they almost got in a fight with Shannon Sharpe, and like they didn't play well at all. Probably because I was listening and reading to some stuff. Apparently, it was Dylan Brooks' birthday, and they were like out all night, so they didn't play. That was the cause of them not being able to play well, supposedly. So they haven't been playing well even before that. 3-7 ATS the last 10. I don't know. It's something about Memphis that I can't bet against off of the spot because I think they're going to come in, then they're going to be angry. But then there's another part of me that doesn't want to bet against the Warriors at home, where they are second in defensive rating at home. We all know the home road splits are pretty much monstrous. So I would definitely just stay away. Golden State's covered 3 of the last 5, 14-9 ATS at home. If you want to play anything, I would play first quarter over. But I'll stay away from the side. If Terrell sent me some, $200 or $300, I'd probably play the Grizzlies plus the number.
I mean, it's pretty easy for me. You play the Grizzlies in this spot. It's no doubt in my mind you play the Grizzlies in this spot. Again, I told you on Christmas. Well, I talked to the people. Told the people on Christmas.
No, I was with you.
Golden State was the play, and we were playing Golden State on the money line, and they were 7.5-point dogs. And I said Golden State is the play on Christmas. They are going to go in here. They're missing 3 of their best players. Mm-hmm. They're going to go on there and they're going to put it on Memphis and they're going to go out there and get an outright win. I said that. Now, because why is Memphis care? Why does Memphis care for playing their B squad, C squad? We don't care. This is not the game we want to see. Memphis gets up when Steph Curry, when Klay Thompson, when Andrew Wiggins, when Draymond Green, when all those guys are in the lineup. That is when they get up for this game. I mean, it was so clear and obvious that last time, and now we're sitting here. You're getting a nationally televised game on the 4-letter network, 10 p.m. on the East Coast, and you have 80% of the bets on Golden State, 91% of the money. This is literally the exact same thing that I told you. Well, I didn't get to tell you because, I said it in the comment section while y'all were on Boston when they played the Warriors, and I said no, take the Warriors in the spread and take them sprinkle on the money line just because all that money is coming in on Boston. They took money on Boston all the way from 5 to 7. It's a nationally televised game. Don't bet with the public on a nationally televised game. I'm so good on it. Like the one game that the books are actually caring about, the one game that's getting the most money is this game. There's no way I'm siding with the side that has 80% of the tickets and 91% of the money. Absolutely not. So I think that this is a spot. Just overall, Memphis is going to get up for seeing who's on the other side of the ball. You look at, think about it, that playoff series was. There were multiple games, I think, that were 1-possession games that either Memphis would have covered this line or they would have won, or they won the game outright. So for sure covering this line. This is definitely a better spot for Memphis. Everybody's going to look to back Golden State at home here. I truly understand it. They are one of the best home teams in the league. But I called Brooklyn against them the last time. So I like my chances calling Golden State take a L at home. And I think this is a chance where that 3.5, this is going to be a close game. If nothing else, this is going to be a close game. This is going to be the game that everybody wishes that we got on Christmas. So yeah, I'm with Memphis here. This is a bounce back spot for Memphis. This is all the way locked in. They weren't partying the night before. They're actually focused on this game. And so, yeah, give me the Memphis Grizzlies plus 3.5. That's a lot for me. But I also like the under, and just because I think that this is going to be a contesting game, I don't think that they're going to let each other shoot wild all over the court or anything else. I think this is a game that's going to get really nitty gritty down to the wire, and you'll see a lot better defense. Memphis is one of the better defensive teams over the course of the season. You talked about how Golden State's defenses ramps up at home. And you can listen to the Draymond Green show and listen to Draymond Green talk about it on his show, and he talks about how much better they play at home, the more confidence that the young guys on that roster have at home, and the things that they feel like they can get away with that they normally couldn't get away with on the road, they get away with at home. So, yeah, no, I like an under for the game. I'll take the highest total on the board and bet it under, and I like Memphis.
Yeah, I'm with you on the under. I think it's just a tad bit too high for two competitive teams. Most of the time when we see some of these competitive teams play, they think the odds makers, pretty much side with offense, and I mean that's reasonable because both of these teams have been playing towards the over. 7 of the last 10 for Golden State has went over. 6 of the last 10 for Memphis has went over. But as of recently, a smaller sample size on that West Coast trip, they did play 3 unders out of 5. So that's something to look into with Memphis. I think they'll be more focused, like you mentioned. Golden State, of course, is going to be more focused at home against a top tier opponent. So I like a more physical game. Hopefully, we don't get a lot of free throws. The refs stay out of the way. They just pretty much let them play because free throws do lead to points with the clock not running, and that's not a recipe for an under. But I'm with you on the under. I play it under for sure.
Let's sprinkle on that money line. They've lost 3 in a row. Like they're gonna get, of course, they're gonna lose to the Lakers. They're gonna lose to the Suns C squad, and then they're gonna lose Sacramento. They're gonna come in here and get a really, really good win against Golden State on the road. Like it's just written. All right, props for that game before we move on. Anything you got?
Yeah, I don't have anything. I would look at. I know people. I've been telling people I don't like Jordan Poole like that as a player. But I like him over 21.5 points tonight.
You're actually just a Warriors hater.
No, I love the Warriors, man. I love the Warriors.
No, I don't know because you were disrespecting.
Steph, North Carolina guy, man.
You were disrespecting I love all North
Carolina Wiggins. Guys. Nah, I don't. I'm not really a fan of Wiggins. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not a fan of Wiggins. But I like Jordan Poole over 21.5 points. Just to show I'm not as biased as people think. And tell Cam first quarter Warriors over. Cam in the chat. First quarter Warriors over.
What is because you're not going to see Steven Adams in this game.
Yeah, right.
Looney, what does Looney do against the Grizzlies on a regular night? 5, 4, 6, 5. Not really what I'm looking for. I want to maximize rebounds. I want to maximize rebounds. Maybe. I think he'll be too locked in. I think he'll be too locked in defensively to be focused on rebounding the basketball. Maybe it's Steph, and Steph just sneakily walking away with a bunch of rebounds. He does.
What about Wiggins, man? Wiggins rebound the ball pretty well with that small lineup.
Yeah, he does. Wiggins is definitely going to be another one. Maybe Steph and Wiggins is who I back for rebounds today.
Yeah, I wouldn't like any props. You talking me?
Or DiVincenzo. DiVincenzo is a guy that rebounds the basketball. Matter of fact, yeah, and Steph has a triple double against them. I was looking at Steph triple double for a second. He has a triple double against them. So, 10, 4, 7, 7, 10, 7 in the regular season versus the Grizzlies. That's his last. Well, that dates all the way back to 2018. Let's go. Let's find that playoff. See, where's that playoff game log? 7, 3, 5, 2, 9, 3, 6. Well, those are old. So 3, 9, 2, 5, 3, 7. What was his number at? 4.5, 5.5.
Yeah, 5.5.
I don't know. I might call my shot on Steph.
You can find a 5. You can find a 5 out there too.
But I'm not. How can I take Steph and not Wiggins? Wiggins is at 4.5. Yeah, I'm taking Steph and Wiggins rebounds tonight.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm gonna tell you on that. I'm gonna put that in when we get off.
All right. Let's see here. Next game of the slate. This should be quick. Utah Jazz are going to play the Portland Trailblazers. Trailblazers are laying 3.5 at home. 240. Excuse me. 240 is the total injury report. You're not going to see Justice Winslow for the Trailblazers. Other than that, they're clean. And no Kelly Olynyk, of course. Other than that, the Jazz are clean. Trailblazers laying 3.5. What are you doing, sir?
Yeah, man, I know you're gonna like the Jazz. I like Portland here. I know it's Jazz as a dog. We all know that the numbers are really good as a dog. 27 ATS. I think that Portland has found something when they play. They need to.
Don't try to throw my numbers out there. Don't try to throw my numbers out there and then throw your side out there. Just go with your pick because we know you're about to be on the wrong side of this again.
Yeah, man.
I don't know how many times you faded this and you
Listen, I lost a lot of money early on in the Jazz. Look, I learned my lesson early on. I stopped betting against the Jazz early on, like when they were like running through everybody.
No, they're actually a team you can bet against. You just have to bet against them in the right spot. You're not picking the right spot, but I'm gonna let you do it.
Listen, I think that Portland has found something with Shaedon Sharpe. I have no idea why Billups doesn't play him more. When he gets like more than 20 minutes, he's pretty much productive as it comes. Of course, from an offensive standpoint, he doesn't play much defense, but neither does anybody on Portland. But I think that Portland will be able to make a lot of threes in this game. The Utah Jazz are poor defensively, 26 in defensive efficiency. They do score the ball extremely well. And Portland is not the best defense, 22nd in defensive efficiency. Overall, I just kind of like what I've seen in the past 2 or 3 games from Portland. They haven't been covering a lot of numbers. I know 3 and 7 ATS the last 10. They are, however, 13 and 9 ATS at home. They have a top 10 offensive rating. So I think the offense can prevail in this matchup. So give me the Portland Trailblazers laying the short number, 3.5.
All right. Yeah, no, Jazz as a dog, Jazz plus 3.5, Jazz on the money line. Super easy handicap. Not even like consider. No point in my mind did I ever consider playing Portland at all. I have nothing else to say. If you don't know why I'm on the Jazz at this point, then I mean, I really don't know what to say. I'll give you this. They covered their last game as a favorite. So, I mean, hey, it's also the Charlotte Hornets, who are probably the worst team in the league. In terms of talent on the roster, probably the worst team in the league. But, I mean, there's nothing else to say. Well, they covered 2 of their last 3 games as a favorite they covered. So, excuse me, I'm about to choke.
Yeah, man, 14 and 11 ATS on the roll, 7 and 3 ATS last 10. Yeah, I know it's just they got great numbers. I think just matchup wise, I think I'm leaning towards Portland a little bit more.
Yeah, and you and about 83% of the money as well, also on Portland. So, I mean, that line hasn't moved off of that 3, and it's got 83% of money. That's telling. All right. I mean, I don't have anything else. Total sitting there at 240.
Yeah, I would lean under. Both teams playing towards the under. 3 of the last 5 for both have went under. Something else to notice with both of these teams, 57% of their games in the first quarter have went under. So I would look at a first quarter under, just a filling out process. I know with 2 explosive offenses like Utah and Portland that a lot of people are going to be looking over. So if you can find a good number under a first quarter number, while you give your handicap, I'll look and grab that number. But I'll be playing first quarter under. Let me just get an accurate number for it.
Oh, I'm not talking along on this game at all. I'll take it over. I'm not trusting Utah's defensively to stop anything Portland has going on, and I think Utah wins the game. So I think Utah is going to outscore Portland. I'm on over.
58.5 first quarter. Give me the first quarter under 58.5. But
all right.
Yep, that's about it.
Props, anything?
Clarkson over 21.5. This is a game that he's going to love to play in. There'll be a lot of threes going up. He's went over for the last 7. He had 21 once in that stretch, so not too bad. He shot really bad in the last meeting, 7 of 16. So look for a bounce back game. I also like Damian Lillard assists, 8.5 at plus money. He's had double figures in the last 3 and went over 4 the last 6. So also sprinkle something on Damian Lillard double as well. So those are the only 2 that I really like in this matchup.
I'm back on Walker Kessler.
I didn't see any of his props. I was looking for his props. I didn't see any.
Yeah, I'm back on Walker Kessler. So that's about it for me in this one. I'll just take that free Utah plus money. Next game on the slate, we have the San Antonio Spurs going in to play the Los Angeles Lakers. Lakers are laying 7. 243.5 is the total. injury report for these two teams, and we have for the Spurs, Romeo Langford questionable. Devin Vassell is still out. And Rui Hachimura, the newest Los Angeles Laker, he is expected to play today. Anthony Davis is expected to play today.
How long?
Still not going to see Reeves or Walker. It's looking about 20, 24 minutes is what I see here on Underdog for Anthony Davis, about 20, 24 minutes throughout the game, barring any pregame setback.
Yeah.
So I mean, 20, 24 minutes, Anthony Davis is still a pretty good offensive explosion. So, yeah. All right. Lakers on a back-to-back. Are you laying 7?
No, I'm not laying 7 with the Lakers. I don't lay points with the Lakers at all. Although they do have a favorable matchup. I know Ken was talking about the first half with the Spurs, and the Lakers have been pretty much one of the better first quarter and first half teams in the NBA. Some of those guys getting back, I kind of like them in the first quarter and first half versus the full game, simply because they'll come out with a lot more energy with some of those guys getting back. And Rui, I'm not sure how much he'll play, but I'm sure he'll do more than what Wenyen Gabriel and Thomas Bryant would do offensively. The Lakers have, not the Lakers, the Spurs have allowed 652 points in their last 5 games. That is 130 points per game, if my math is right. They've allowed 140 plus twice and 130 plus twice. They are last in points per game in the paint, which is where the Lakers thrive. So I think Anthony Davis, LeBron, if he's actually going to play, I think they dominate on the inside. So I love their props over, especially the rebounding props. But as far as the side, I'd lean to the Lakers, but I wouldn't play it. I'd rather play them first quarter and first half versus the full game.
I'm not gonna take the Spurs because the Lakers absolutely have been dominant in the first 3 games this series. 123-92, 105-94. They still would have covered that line there. 143, 138. They wouldn't have covered that one there. Okay, so they got one that they wouldn't have covered it. But I'm pretty sure LeBron's probably going to play. Like, LeBron's still chasing the scoring title. I'm pretty sure he's going to play. I just think it's too much. And this Spurs team hasn't been able to close out the Lakers before. That first half play is interesting for the Spurs. I'll have to look into that a little bit more. I'm not going to go into that handicap just now. But, yeah, I don't think that they have enough to close out the Lakers at all. So I'm going to take the Lakers -7. Yeah, I think the Spurs are the only team that I'll lay points with against the Lakers because they just cover this number.
I'd rather do it early. 28-20 ATS in the first half for the Lakers. 7-4 ATS last 11 in the first quarter. So those are just numbers to go by as far as laying it early rather than later.
All right. Total sitting at 243.5. For reference, the last game I said was 143, 138. If anybody missed that, that's what the last game came in at, 143, 138 in San Antonio. What are you doing here with a 243.5?
Yeah, I go over. I don't think San Antonio is going to stop anybody. The Lakers defensively are better with Anthony Davis. Of course, they're better. That's the only thing that scares me, that Spurs don't score enough. So let's pivot, and I'll take the Lakers team total over versus the full game over. Let me get an accurate number on that for you. It is Lakers team total 124.5. It's pretty much painted 124.5 and most of the sharper books. So I'll take them over 124.5.
All right, for the Cameron Kerr first half special, he has the Spurs +3. Said Spurs last 3 are averaging 65.7 points per game compared to the Lakers 49.7. Pretty good stat there. Lakers last 3 are allowing 67 points on average in the first half, and the Spurs are allowing 65. Okay. Sorry, no, Spurs are allowing 63.3. So pretty good numbers there. Cameron Kerr, first half special. Spurs plus 3.5. All right. Any props you want before we move on?
Just LeBron. If he plays, I know his numbers. His numbers not out yet. His points and rebounds, and also Anthony Davis's points and rebounds. Even in a smaller minutes, I guess window, 20 to 25 minutes, I still think he'll be able to dominate on the inside with the Spurs not having enough size.
Right here. Before we get into our lock and dog, I talk to you about the official online sportsbook of Sports Gambling Podcast Network, and that is WynnBET. NFL players are here, so you can live bet them. You can make same game parlays for the playoffs. You have great promos, odds, and payouts. And if you sign up today, you can receive a special offer: bet $100, get $100. Limited to state availability. So make sure you do that. Make sure you hit the biggest long shot parlay of the week, because if you do, you'll get $1,000 free credit from WynnBET. So much choose from. All you have to do is head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WynnBET. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET. All subject change, terms and conditions at wynnbet.com. Must be 21 order in present state where playthrough WynnBET is available. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. David from Toronto said Kelton Johnson over. Yeah, that's pretty easy. And Cap said, oh, wow, he butchered his name. That's not even anywhere close to spelling Hachimura. But Hachimura starting at the 5, Davis at the 4. No, Hachimura's not starting. He's coming off the bench. Probably Thomas Bryant stays in the lineup, and maybe Davis at the 4 if Davis doesn't come off the bench as well. But I doubt he comes off the bench. So Davis at the 4, Bryant at the 5. Yeah. All right. Let's see here. We have our lock and dog, sir. What are you doing for tonight's slate?
Before Washington and Houston, did you like anything? I think we missed that one.
Oh, did we?
Yeah, probably for good calls. But
my bad. Yeah, we did. We skipped that. I skipped over. My bad. Washington Wizards are going to play the Houston Rockets. Wizards are laying 3. 232.5 is the total injury report for these two teams. And we have for the Washington Wizards. Let me get all my stuff pulled up because I forgot about this game.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't have much in this game. You don't even have to do that. I mean,
Kristaps Porzingis is not going to be playing, and Jabari Smith Jr. is questionable. Kevin Porter Jr. is not playing either. I mean, I'm on the Wizards.
Yeah, I'm passing the game. I like the first quarter over. Both teams top 10 in first quarter overs. Somewhat lean into the full game over. Houston's atrocious defensively. Short travel for Washington. I mean, they were in Dallas, so they probably just had Moonoff jet, pick them up and take them to the arena. So not a lot of travel. So I think Washington will get up a lot of points. I like Sengun, points, rebounds, and assists over 36.5. He's went over 3 of the last 4. Favorable matchup with Gafford being a fouling machine. So that's only a few things that I like in the game. As far as the full game, I'm with you. I'd lean to the Wizards, but I wouldn't play it. I just play the over.
Wizards are 5-3 straight up, 6-2 against the spread on a back-to-back this season. Rockets suck. It's Wizards -3. It's actually one of my locks today. Wizards -3. Take the Wizards and parlay them with the over. I think you are pretty good. According to Shams, Bobby Portis has suffered an MCL sprain in his right knee. He'll miss some time. Dang, that's tough. That sucks. Milwaukee, I just don't think anybody can beat Milwaukee in a 7-game series when they're fully healthy. I truly don't think anybody can beat them in a 7-game series when they're fully healthy. All right. Yeah, non-conference over in that spot. That's pretty quick breakdown. Just Wizards. Wizards are good. Well, they're not good, but they're actually like a respectable team. Houston sucks.
Yeah.
All right. You're lock and dog. What are you doing?
Lock. Give me the Pelicans. Laying a short number. I'd rather play it on the money line, but I guess however whoever wants to play it, you play it at your whatever you like, your risk tolerance. I don't mind laying extra juice to get a win versus taking a bad beat. So give me the Pelicans on the money line or laying the short number. For the dog, there's not a lot of dogs that I like, to be honest. Well, let's go Memphis plus 3.5. We talked about it earlier. I think it's going to be a good spot. Angry Memphis team. I don't like betting against Golden State at home, but I think it'll be a under a one possession game, maybe 1 or 2 points. So give me Memphis as a dog.
All right. Let me finish this out strong. Of course, I'm playing Utah. I don't have to go over that. For my lock, let's go with Wizards or Milwaukee. Wizards or Milwaukee. I will take the Wizards -3. That's my lock.
Not bad.
For my dog, we will go with you took Memphis, so I will go. I just have a sneaky feeling about Toronto tonight. I think this is a sneaky good spot for Toronto. I'll take Toronto plus. Oh wait, plus 130. What am I getting with?
If you take Memphis, I'll take Harden triple double, 7-1.
Okay, I mean I was gonna give out Memphis regardless, but
Yeah,
my official dog will be yeah, I'll go with Toronto plus 130. All right, Toronto plus 130. And then I have a 3-team, really 4 round robin. And I'll just parlay the dogs that I like because I like the Pacers on the money line. I like slightly like Brooklyn. So Brooklyn in there, Toronto, Memphis. Oh wow, I do like a lot of dogs on the slate today.
Dang, you do. Yeah, that's almost every dog.
Yeah. All right, that's fine. Give me a 3-team money line round robin with, of course, I got to throw Utah in there. So Utah, Memphis, and Toronto. Sure, why not? Late game slate. But I like the Pacers. I do like Pacers. I'm betting Pacers. All right. Other than that, anything else before we get up out of here?
Nah, a lot of disagreement, which is good for the viewing audience.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Other than that, make sure you follow us on Twitter. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe on YouTube. Make sure you drop a like for you exit out of this stream. Tell us how we're doing. Reviews. Leave us a review on Spotify, on Apple, wherever you do that. Other than that, then I really don't have anything else to say. Nothing else to do. Got to get this podcast out to the people. So, going to leave you like this. We are out of here.